I did a little research on the leadership of your country so far. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the president of your country. I read 2 weeks ago in The Economist magazine where he stepped down from the presidency to go to the trial and came back. You know, I want to tell him that's a great act of integrity. I think I want to recommend him to many leaders to follow his example. Great decision he made. But let me just say this, what I love about this leadership. The people in leadership in your country today, I understand that most of them, especially the president himself, came into the government financially stable. I think that's important because nothing is worse than allowing a poor person to enter a place of power because they use the power to empower themselves. True leaders do not use power to empower themselves. They use power to serve others. And so I appreciate this government's mentality because they are trying to stamp out corruption. They're trying to destroy the spirit of selfishness. They want to see the service to the people as the priority. Keep in mind, leadership is not measured by how many people serve you. It's measured by how many people you serve. Service is the greatest act of leadership. Serving the people is why you exist. So anytime a leader wants to be served, that's not a leader, that's a parasite.
And every time they're amassing wealth for themselves?
Well, that's exactly. Corruption is a result of a poverty mentality. You know, I read a statement by the great King Solomon. Solomon says, "Woe to the land when a slave becomes king." I'm going to quote it again. Woe to the land, that means the country, when a slave becomes the king. What he's saying is the country will be destroyed if the person who's in power thinks like a slave. A slave is someone who is being stripped of everything. This spirit of scarcity and lack is in their minds. So they want everything for themselves immediately. And that's why poverty remains in many countries because the person in charge is a slave mentally. And they want to accumulate to themselves and forget about the people. I believe the future of Africa is going to be in the hearts of people, young people, and also older people who begin to appreciate the fact that greatness in leadership is empowering other people, not pursuing power, and serving other people, not being served. And so corruption to me is like a cancer that comes from a low self-esteem, poor self-concept, low self-worth, a fear of scarcity, and it's probably the highest manifestation of insecurity.
Absolutely. That and something we call negative ethnicity, tribalism.
Well,
tribalism.
Well, you know, tribalism to me is, again, it's a sign of low self-esteem. It doesn't matter what tribe I'm from. It's what I believe about myself that matters. Your opinion doesn't affect my value. What you think about me doesn't change what I think about myself. I had to craft my own definition of myself. Define yourself. Don't even let your tribe define you. You were born as a human, not as a tribe first. Get back to your humanity. No matter where you're from, what color of skin you have, no matter what they label you, be careful. Labels can destroy who you are.
Absolutely.
I am first human, then everything else.
And we say, you know, we try to say we are Kenyan first, everything else second.
Yeah.
But it's difficult.
I think it's even go deeper than that. Don't say Kenyan first anymore. Say I'm human first, then Kenyan.
There you go.
You know, God created man, humans. There was no race involved. Only one race, human race. And I think this is probably where we get into problems, when we start to label the races. I am a human, so I don't fight for human rights. I was born with that. I had to realize, no, I was made in God's image and in God's likeness. His opinion should not change who I am. So discovering yourself is more important than anything else in the world. And the only way to know who you are is to identify who your manufacturer is. And your manufacturer, of course, is the source, God himself. So you can never know yourself without God. God comes into your life not to take you to heaven, but to give you an introduction of yourself to you, to help you understand who you are.
Is heaven on earth, Doc?
Heaven to me is there are two types of heaven. There's a place called heaven that is literally invisible. I believe that's real. But there's also the heaven where you connect to that and discover yourself. I live in heaven every day. I walk in heaven every day. Heaven is a culture that you discover when you have a relationship with the source.
Is that the same with hell?
I live. Hell is when you are not living in that relationship with God. Not just a place you go, it's a place that it's a disposition as well. You know, sleeping on the floor with roaches to me is hell. You know, that didn't make no sense to me. Okay? So, but to get out of that, I had to change my relationships, my knowledge base, my relationships also with God and with people, and to discover myself. So self-discovery to me is the greatest discovery in the world. And most people are so busy trying to imitate other people, they never become themselves.